And you have to.
Okay. Good morning. Welcome to our August 7th, 2024 meeting with the WKU Staff Senate. We're calling to order. Roll call, Morgan. Senator Adams.
Here.
Senator Bartley.
Here.
Ansler.
Present.
Senator Chadwick.
Present.
Senator Finn.
Here.
Regent Hammond. Here. Senator Henry. Present. Senator Hess.
Here.
Senator Jenkins. Present. Senator Hopwood. Senator Johnson.
Present.
Senator Jones. Present. Senator Hopkins. Present. Senator Minton. Senator Ray.
Here.
Senator Robertson. Present. Senator Spitler.
Here.
Senator Vanderpool. Present. Chair Vincent. Present. Senator Wright.
Present.
Senator Wyatt. Present. We're done. The agenda was sent out and the monthly meetings, was there any updates that need to be adjusted? You got that adjusted? Updates. So we're going to approve the monthly meetings for the meeting minutes for July. Any objections? Okay. So the meeting minutes are approved for July. We will now do the Christopher Ware Staff Star Awards. Senator, you're up.
Thank you, and thank you all for joining us today. It's my pleasure to present the Christopher Ware Staff Star Award. This award is an opportunity for us to recognize and celebrate our colleagues for all of their many and varied contributions to the WKU. So we're so happy you're here to join us in that today. The first awardee that we're going to recognize is Selena Langford. Selena works in the library and library access services as a library assistant. And I would like to first welcome her nominator, Kathy Bechet, to say a few words about Selena.
I do have some prepared remarks, but one thing that just happened yesterday, actually, that will just let you know about Selena in a nutshell. We were talking about what would you do if you won the lottery, and everybody was talking about, oh, I'd buy a house and have a swimming pool and a library and all of these things. And I asked Selena, and she, without hesitation, said, "I'd give it to charity." And that is Selena, always thinking of others, always putting other people first, just very generous with her time and her resources. So I just wanted to share that. Selena has been a valuable and valued member of the library for many years in multiple departments. Many times her institutional knowledge of the library and of WKU in general has been beneficial to making decisions and plans for projects. She is beloved by her coworkers and student assistants alike. Her sweet disposition and genuine friendliness make it a pleasure to work with her. Selena sincerely cares about our student assistants. She knows all their names, majors, and remembers the important events in their lives, often asking how well an exam or paper went and celebrating or commiserating as needed. She does the same for her colleagues and will happily look at photos of vacations, pets, and children. She remembers the names of the pets and children too and asks about them often. If anyone needs assistance with anything, whether it's taking a desk shift or helping with a project, Selena is always available. Frequently, she will pop into someone's office with a cheery, "Anything I can do?" before she goes off to shelve books, apply new call numbers, staff a desk, or do one of the 100 other tasks that she performs that help keep the library running smoothly. Working with the public sometimes means dealing with difficult patrons. Selena is unfailingly polite and kind with even the most problematic. We all try to assist one another with these situations, but nothing gets a quicker response than a patron who is abusive to our student workers or Selena, because as everyone knows, you don't yell at our students and you don't yell at Selena. And I have heard multiple people in our department say that. In short, we are incredibly fortunate to have Selena as a coworker and as a friend. She is amazing, and WKU is a better place because she's here. And we love her.
Thank you. Certificates, yeah, and good job.
For you. I'll hold it up for you.
Ready? There we go.
Yeah, we got it. We don't want a video of us.
That'll be good too.
Yeah, I can get my-
Ready? 2, 3. There you go. Congratulations. All right, our next Christopher Ware Award winner is Dr. Nina Marjanovic. Dr. Nina Marjanovic is the Assistant Director of Enrollment and Brand Management in the Huron Honors College. She was nominated for this award by Kirsten Hooks. Kirsten wasn't able to join us today, but she did send some remarks that I would be happy to share with you today. Dr. Marjanovic is somewhat new to the MHC team and came in to an almost new staff. She's incredibly intelligent and intentional about her work, being centered around the student experience. She's someone you can count on and someone dedicated to working hard and showing up. She's someone I'm grateful to have as a campus partner. Nina has been incredibly refreshing to work with. She's an exceptional campus partner who goes above and beyond in all she does. Her methodical thinking allows for great conversation and brainstorm. She's student-focused and a true asset to WKU. So glad to work alongside her and to work with someone as wonderful as her. I'd now like to invite Nina's supervisor, Dr. Rodney King, the Interim Associate Director of the MHC, to share some remarks.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity to come share a few remarks about Nina. I don't think I can top that. Very nice, but very true. So Nina actually grew up in Bowling Green, and she went to Center College to complete her bachelor's and went on to get her master's and PhD at the University of Kentucky. She's worked in higher ed for quite a few years and brings that expertise here in a variety of different capacities as coordinator of the graduate program, admissions program, and academic advisor and so forth. So that kind of expertise we were looking for. So we were very fortunate that Nina applied for the Assistant Director of Enrollment and Brand Management. And Nina, as alluded to, only started, and we haven't quite reached the 1-year anniversary yet, August 17th of 23. So there's a lot of stuff that happens in the fall, and for the assistant director, and a lot of that has to do with the putting the best face forward for the MHC and WKU through various recruiting events that are important, obviously, for us to bring those students in to the university. But also, I want to say I really appreciate everything Nina's done in the office within the MHC. She's taken it upon herself to kind of organize a social calendar through birthday recognitions, office scheduling, office lunches, and so forth. So I really appreciate everything she's done there to create a very nice working environment. So thank you very much for doing that. It's been many of you probably know, it's been a challenging year in the MHC with Dr. Cobain's illness. When Nina came on, I had only started maybe 2-3 weeks before then as an interim and to try to help things out. So I wasn't much help to Nina, sorry. And so she really came in and really hit the ground sprinting. She had a lot to do in the fall and has continued to work very hard. One of the things that's coming up that I really want to point out is, and that I admire about Nina, is her confidence and her ability to reach out and create relationships across the campus community. And so she's been working hard to bring our freshman experience back to the WKU campus. Our freshman experience for the Huron Honors College is called H4, previously called H4. And now we've worked, and Nina's worked very hard with HRL, so thank you HRL, to bring this back to campus. So next week we're piloting this program, and so we're very excited to pilot this program where we brought our freshman experience back and integrated that with master plan. So Nina, you're truly a value member of the MAC team. Congratulations, well-deserved recognition of all the contributions you've made in the very short period of time that you've been. So thank you very much.
Yeah, shot. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Last but definitely not least, our third awardee was not able to join us today, but of course, we do definitely want to make mention of her contributions to WKU. Our third Christopher Ware Staff Star Award winner is Shannon Bridges. Shannon is the office manager of the Department of Communication Science, the Department of Communications and Sciences and Disorders. She was nominated for this award by April Hardison Wilcox, and I wanted to share what April said as part of her nomination. If you are unsure about how to go about getting something accomplished in our department, this is the person you go to for assistance. If you want to recognize someone who genuinely cares about students and her coworkers, then Mrs. Bridges is the person to recognize. She's there if you need someone to listen and keep information confidential. She's there to celebrate with you and with your students, and is there if you need someone who will cry with you to show you compassion as well. She's a true manager and leader of our department, and I want her to know that all of her efforts and work are acknowledged and appreciated by the students, faculty, and fellow staff members. In fact, when I notified Shannon's supervisor, Dr. Green, she was equally as ecstatic that Shannon be recognized. I know that everyone respects and appreciates her hard work. And I know that everyone respects and appreciates the hard work of all of our winners today. So I just wanted to say before we close this section of the meeting, thank you to Selena and Nina and Shannon for everything you do at WKU and for all of our students. And if anyone knows anyone else at WKU, any of our coworkers who you think are deserving of this recognition, please go to our Staff Senate website and you can find the nomination form. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Ray. Great job. Okay, our next agenda item is our guest speaker, Dr. Beth Wavis, Assistant Provost and Director for Accreditation and Academic Programs, is here to speak about the university's upcoming accreditation. So, yeah, and we're gonna get your slides for you in just 1 second. Yeah, you can sit. Yeah, sure, no problem.
I've spent so much time at my desk, I don't know how to stay anymore. So, thank you all for inviting me. I really appreciate having a few minutes of your time. I know that you at all of our especially this time. So thank you for inviting me. So when I took on this role 3 years ago, I started on our reaffirmation process.
I'm playing our last movie.
Okay, I'm sorry. About that. It was like, that was me. What is that?
Right. So
We just keep it informal. It's great. You're with friends.
So Southern Association of College and Schools Commission on Colleges, SAC-COC as we lovingly call it, or the commission, I think is kind of its shortcut, is our institutional accreditor. And they used to be called regional accreditors. So if you're used to hearing regional accreditation, the U.S. Department of Education changed their names to institutional accreditors a few years ago. And so they are now our institutional accreditor. And they accredit our whole institution, unlike program accreditations or unit accreditations. I know there are a lot of those also on our campus as well. But this one covers our whole university. It happens every 10 years. So we do a 5th year, we call it an interim report, but every 10 years is when we go through our whole, what we call a reaffirmation, because we're accredited. We've been accredited since 1926 by SAC-COC. They've changed their names a few times, but and so have we, I guess, since 1926. But we have been accredited since 1926. Oh, thank you. And so it's been a process we've gone through quite a few times, almost 100 years now of accreditation. And so it's coming up. Actually, it is 2025. We are the class of 2025. But I am feeling the pinch right now because this is actually the year when all of our reports are due, and in the spring we'll have our on-site visit. So it is important because as to be accredited as an institution means a lot of things, but the U.S. Department of Education recognizes SAC-COC as an institutional creditor. They get monitored by the U.S. Department of Education. We get monitored by SAC-COC, and that is related to all the federal regulations that come out of the U.S. Department of Education. And so, I mean, there are a lot of them. They cover a lot of things: distance education, Title IX. There's a bunch of others that cover all kinds of work that our university does as we support students in their graduation, right? So all of those federal regulations that the U.S. Department of Education puts out, they want to make sure that we follow. And this is how we assure the U.S. Department of Education that we are following the regulations through the accreditation process. So it's not necessarily obvious to people that that's what we do and why we do this, but it's really incredibly important. We have to be accredited, an institutional accreditation. We have to have that in order to receive federal financial funds, which are distributed by the Department of Ed, right? And so since most of our students, I don't know if that's true, I think probably more than half get some type of federal financial aid. I'm assuming that. I wanted to look that one up, but I haven't. I know that our students, a majority of our students have some type of financial aid, and that might be state related, that might be WK related, but the federal part is monitored and connected to the federal regulations that the U.S. Department of Education puts out, and then it also is part of our accreditation. So accreditation is important to us because we want that for our students, right? And so the other important reason for accreditation is to demonstrate the quality of our institution. This kind of accreditation covers all kinds of parts of the institution, not just the academic programs and student learning outcomes, which it does, assessment of that, but it also covers assessment of our student support services, our administrative units. And so that includes virtually all of our staff. And in fact, as I've been working on this report, I have spoken to more staff on our campus than faculty for sure, because those parts are governed by our program assessment and general education process. But the other parts, like for instance, assessment plans, if you've been involved in those are definitely part of one of the standards. And so, part of that assessment process, while it's connected to SAC-COC because we are required to assess ourselves and our effectiveness in our offices and the way we support students, it is so that's an important thing, but we would do that anyway, right? Because we believe in the quality of our institution and we want to do a better job and we want to continually improve. So, there's a difference between doing those things and documenting that you do those things, right? And that's the trick. And so that's what those assessment plans are about. So they're incredibly important too. And I appreciate all the work that any of you have contributed to those things because they are part of this report. There are 72 standards that are connected to this. The report is about 500 pages, and I've got somewhere around 800 to 1,000 different evidence documents. So I haven't counted them lately, but this big, right? It's big. And so it's coming together. But I wanted to tell you just kind of where we are and why this year is so important. So there's a lot of parts to this process. Back in 2022, we went to our orientation meeting at SAC-COC annual meeting. And so that orientation kicked off this whole process back in 22. But then we have been, since then, we have started writing. We had 8 writing teams working on this. Jennifer was led one of those writing teams. And we have been putting that report together. We had an advisory visit from our vice president from SAC-COC who came to campus in June to read sections of our draft and then also talk to us about the importance of this accreditation process, building awareness for this accreditation process, which is why I'm here today. And also to help us in terms of preparing for the offsite visit, the offsite review and the onsite review. And Tanya came to that and met our VP, Dr. Parrish, who's a great support for us. She's our liaison, so she helps us get prepared for this. So one of the things that you need to know, because they will be on our campus that this year, but the offsite review, that's the self-study kind of thing. It's called a compliance report. And that's due in September. And so I'm feeling the pinch because this humongous 500-page report is due pretty soon. And so we're getting it together, but it's coming along. And that's why I was rushing this morning because I'm still working on it, but I will be right up until the last minute, I'm afraid. So then in November, once we get that finished, it will go off to the offsite review committee. So we have an offsite review committee, and I didn't say this before, I meant to. This is a peer review process, right? So anybody can volunteer to be an evaluator for other universities. And so we have an offsite review committee made up of our peers from other universities that will get our offsite report in October. They'll meet in November and then make decisions on whether on each of those 72 standards, whether we were compliant or they had questions. That's where we get there. So they might have questions about they couldn't find enough evidence, they didn't see the evidence. It could be that they needed clarification on something. So they'll have a bunch of questions. So we'll get to respond to that process. And then in January, we'll turn that in along with the QEP plan. And I don't know if you remember the last QEP. So these only happen every 10 years. And they do tend to kind of flare up and be a big thing across campus. And then they kind of go away. And that's actually like, okay with SAC-COC, like they don't necessarily expect them to last forever. I mean, if one gets embedded in your university and does last forever, that's great, but they don't really expect that, right? So they see this as more of an experimentation process to see how we can create initiatives for student success, right? And it can take a lot of forms. Our QEP is in the works. It's going to be connected to essential skills of our general education. So more academic this time, as it was last time. They sometimes are student support functions, advising functions. So it just depends on what the university is. The provost had a bunch of focus groups last year. You may have participated in some of those and to have some ideas about topics, and that's where that came from. So the plan is due, then we have 5 years to implement it. So from 2025 to 2030, then that's when we'll report on it, right? So that's it's kind of a off kilter in terms of this whole process, right? Because we'll be finished in 2025 with the reaffirmation, but that's kind of when the QEP actually starts. So it's going to have a cute name. I don't know what it is. Stay tuned for that. So that'll happen in January. Then in March is the big deal. That's going to be March 10th through the 13th. we'll have another committee, not the same committee, but a different review committee, who will then come to our campus and interview a bunch of people, but mostly administrators, I would say. They're almost all administrators or QEP leaders, right? So that's what'll happen there. They'll also take a tour of our campus, so you may see them. And then there'll be that 3 days. Oh, I should say they'll also visit 2 of our regional campuses at that time. That's a federal requirement, and so they will go visit. We have 4, right? And so they only have to visit 2 regional campuses. We have a lot of other off-campus instructional sites, right? Like Somerset and some other places, but they only have to do the ones that are 50% or more, which is Glasgow, Fort Knox, Elizabethtown, and Glasgow. So they're going to go to Glasgow and Elizabethtown. So there you go. We're excited about that visit. That'll be a good one. We will find out fairly soon in March, when they are finished with the visit, how we did. And there often are times when they will ask for additional clarification or follow-ups. And so we'll have another report to write at that point, and that'll be due in August. And then the SAC-COC Board of Trustees meet in December of 2025 and vote on who gets reaffirmed that year. I think there are like, I can't remember, 30 to 40 universities that are in our class that will be, are being evaluated this year. So, and that's when we'll know, that will be finished and it'll be official. So that sounds like a long way away. To me, it does not, right? To me, it feels way too close. So it's almost here, but this year will be a big one for us. You may not ever meet these people. You may not ever hear about the QEP. You may not have another part of this, but I just wanted you to be aware that this process is going on, that it's important to our university. It only happens every 10 years, even though we work on it all the time, all throughout the 10-year cycle. And so, yeah, that's what's going on with SAC-COC, and I appreciate you listening to that long conversation. You have any questions, any thoughts about this? Is it?
I think you brought up a good point about, how important it is to be accredited, even for financial aid purposes, but even when it comes to degrees, I mean, if we have certain degrees through the College of Business, if we're not accredited, that doesn't really go out into the real world. So it's huge, and it's important to know there's a lot more to the accreditation process. I was very surprised. We talked to Dr. Parrish, said, wow, this is a lot, but it's so important. Sure. It is.
I know that you said that it's really based on student success, but in any of those subcategories, does it have anything to do with accessibility around campus? Is that one of the things that makes us accredited?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. That is in there. So there is a section there are 14 sections or chapters that the principles of accreditation are separated into, and then each of those have anywhere from 3 to 10 different standards inside those. And in section 12, it is about student support services. Section 12.1 is, we basically describe student support services. In 12.2, we do staff and the directors. We went with associate directors and directors of units, and SARC is in there. So the counseling center, advising, oh gosh, the list is huge. And there's, so that part is in there. Sections 12.3 and 12.4 deal with student complaints and concerns. And so, of course, the Office of Institutional Equity and the Office of Student Conduct participated in writing those sections. Is this what you wanted to know? Yeah. Sorry.
Jump in, it's probably also in our physical plan, right?
Right.
Accessibility and that to promote this.
It is. And that's in, so section 13.8 is about our institutional environment and safety, right? And so that, I'm pretty sure it's in there, but I know that it's in 13.7, which is about our physical resources. And so that section, I just finished that one up actually last week, and that one is about, you know, how many buildings we have and classrooms, and do we have controls, like IT controls? Do we, but it does describe a bunch of physical things, what we are working on, like for instance, the Commons at Helm Library that just got completed. And then of course the Business College building is in there, that kind of stuff, you know, about the physical. So I would say, yes, absolutely, it's in there. Yeah, thank you. You're welcome. Thank you for asking. Appreciate it. Any other things? Well, I hope this was at least a little informative. It is very dry stuff, I know, but I've enjoyed working on this. It'll be interesting to see it finished, and it'll feel like a huge project that for a few years till we start on the next one.
Right. Well, thank you, Dr. Lobis, for coming and speaking to us. We appreciate it. Yeah, sure. Thank you. Before we actually move on to the officer and committee reports, we do have two members of our staff senate who have not been able to be at our first meeting. They are here now, so I want to kind of have them introduce themselves and tell us a little bit more about why you're here and about your Western journey. So Rachel, sorry to put you on the spot, but we had to do all of it. We had to do all this stuff. That was what I say.
Okay, hi, everybody. My name is Rachel Wyatt. I work over on South Campus with the Life Skills Center for Child Welfare Education and Research. I am a social worker at LCSW, currently getting my doctorate. My doctorate of social work, DSW. The reason that I'm doing this, I teach policy in the social work department. I'm very interested in policy. I'm a very macro-focused social worker. And when Dr. Griffiths came to me and said, hey, they're doing nominations for this, and I think you'd be great, I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. But I said, okay. Now I'm worried because of my super busy schedule, like all of us. But it's gonna be great. I can already tell that I'm gonna be very interested in what happens here. And I'm always, I'm thinking about for my dissertation, thinking about policies and inclusivity. And it could be that I'm coming to some of you all to maybe help me figure out how I can incorporate what I do here or what we do here into, even my future degree. So,
That's great. Yes,
Okay,
thank you.
yeah,
Yeah, no,
so-
I appreciate it.
yeah,
Just
nice
one-
to see everybody.
Yeah.
And
Thank you. Okay, and then we also have Ben Spittler. Yeah.
Hi, Ben Spittler, working facilities, been here about 18 years. And just nice to be on a committee like this to see behind the scenes how everything works.
Welcome. I'm glad you're here. So
Thank you.
kind of threw that off topic. Okay, so let's go with the committee reports, staff region.
I don't have a formal report today. Again, I haven't had my first meeting yet. Hate to say that again after last meeting, I said that too, but I will say that the agenda has been posted for the retreat and the first meeting. The retreat is mainly a lot of the educational opportunities for us to learn about some of the things that are going on campus and kind of what the year ahead looks like. And then we have seen the agenda for the first meeting, and so looks to be more centered around the finance committee for this first one, but happy to take any questions. I'm sorry, nothing really to report just yet.
Okay, thank you.
Just want to share that we received an email from Megan Oliver in Downing Student Union Operations, and she met with Emily Ware Travis, who is Christopher Ware's mother. Recently, she came to campus, and that Christopher's cousin, which is her great nephew, Elijah, is going to be attending WKU this year, and she just wanted to tell us how much it means to her to have the Christopher Ware Staff Star Award. So just wanted to share that with everyone.
Treasurer? Andrea?
Busy writing things down. Our monthly treasurer report, E&G index, starting balance, $3,700, no disbursements, ending balance, $3,700. Our staff senate excellent fund, beginning balance, $2,110.12, ending balance, $12,125.12. Our book scholarship fund, starting balance, $1,804, ending balance, $1,819.18. Both of those had additions of $15 due to payroll deductions from someone here on campus, so we appreciate their giving.
Jason? Technology? Secretary?
No report.
Vice Chair?
No report, but I do have a plea. Workforce Committee, we are just always looking for mentors, so we need mentors from like office coordinators all the way to directors. We need all different kinds of levels. And we're just asking for experience. Like if you've been here for WKU, that means you're qualified. So, no more than that. We're gonna supply lunch. You and your mentee will go to lunch together. So if you are available for that and, just available for phone calls, emails and things like that from your mentee, send staff send it an email. We can get you on that list. Also, we do have some newer employees that are looking for campus-wide volunteer opportunities. I know that with it being the beginning of the year, we have, the Topper Directions Master Plan and then like move in. But if your area has an event or job, I don't know what people do, but if you need help moving things or you just need maybe somebody to stand and greet, at your event, we've got people on campus that are interested in doing those things. So you can either send an email to Staff Senate so we can get you on our volunteer list, or you can send it to me directly and I can hook you up with the people that have asked for that. Leslie Vanderpool is my name, and we'll pass that on. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, from our report, we will send out a call for questions for our next guest speaker, President Boney, on August 8th. Those will be open until August 15th. We'll submit those questions to the president and he will be our guest speaker on September 3rd. The WKU HR Benefits Committee reached out. I believe you guys received an email. And they are interested in showing us the demo about the new wellness portal, the changes that Vitality is going to be making. So if you can make it, that Zoom will be on August 14th at 3 o'clock. If you didn't get the link, just let me know and I can forward it. Actually, I think it's Teams, not Zoom, but yeah. That'll be on August 14th. I believe Benefits sent out an email yesterday kind of highlighting some of the changes that is coming within the portal. So that'll be a good. The Benefits Committee did meet on July 17th to discuss the upcoming health plan rate, the medical and pharmacy program changes, stop loss insurance. Nothing has been finalized yet for the upcoming year. So watch your emails for any changes. That the open enrollment will be October 14th to October 25th this year. And then HR will be hosting some in-person sessions to discuss the changes and help employees with open enrollment. So watch your emails for those dates. Also, don't forget, if you have not yet sent your picture and why you serve to Deanna for our website, if you can get that in. She will be highlighting 2 of the staff senators every month on our newsletter that she created. It'll just be going in alphabetical order. And so if you can definitely get those pictures to her, and that way we have our website updated as well. Jason Kanzler has been appointed to the Master Plan Committee starting for the FY25 and had their first meeting last Friday. I don't think do you have any updates? No updates, okay on that. Yeah, I believe that is it for my updates, and then I have some information under old business. So any questions? Okay. So So for the old business, do we have any updates on the book scholarship?
No, I will ask if anybody's interested in serving on that committee, just let me know. I'll also send out an email via staff senate, just asking, we need probably 5, I would like to have 5 so that we have an odd number in case there's a tiebreaker. Right now I have 2, me and one other person. So, and it's not onerous, you know, we get the submissions, we go through them, we read them, we rank them, it's all easy set up on the staff senate share drive already, how to do it, it's not complicated, it's not difficult, doesn't take a lot of time. So if anybody's willing to serve, just let me know, I'd really appreciate it. I'd really like to get something in place soon, so that if we can get something awarded for the fall semester, that would be great, since we're kind of a little bit behind the 8 ball, but if not, then we'll definitely have something for our spring semester.
Kim Mint just volunteered. On the,
Did you hear?
Through the chat.
Oh, okay, awesome, great.
they would like to serve.
So for the staff engagement survey, I did send out that Qualtrics survey asking which question everyone liked. The majority did pick, how do you feel the staff senate can better serve and represent WKU staff? So I have submitted that question to Dr. Birch and her team. She is working on the survey. I'm thinking we'll have it by next week. So ideally, I would like to send the survey out maybe around August 13th and then keep it open until August 30th. Which get about 3 weeks open, and then send some reminders to that. We did include a survey or a question at the end where they can submit their name if they want to be in a door prize drawing, and we'll work on those after that, just as incentive for filling it out. So that survey should be live hopefully within the next couple of days as well. So we'll get that started. I'm eager to see what kind of responses, but we'll get back with that. So for the staff senate open house, that has been confirmed. It will be September 17th from 2 to 4 p.m. that day. I think you always have that invite. I don't think we actually have an official name. We've called it meet and greet, fall senate open house, or fall staff senate open house, because we do kind of want to see if we can do fall and spring. Any suggestions? Should it be the meet and greet open house, or what do you all think?
I will say that, from the financial side, because of how things are paid, workshop or retreat should be in the title somewhere. Staff senate workshop is what I've been calling it in my head for that reason. And then, you know, advertise it as a meet and greet where people can come and talk about issues or positive things that are going on, and see if we can get interested in it that way.
So call it like a workshop, but then advertise it as the. And it was also brought up, Leslie, the workforce has been working on the years of service recognition. And it was discussed, she did finally get a list from HR. And for the fall semester, there's around 54 names on the list that would either have 5, 10, you guys do 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, okay. All the way to 40. Wow, that's pretty awesome. So we had thought that it would be a great opportunity to recognize those individuals at that. They could come maybe like say 2:30, we could hand out the certificates for the ones that come. And then get the ones that are not able. So not only would it be an opportunity, and it wouldn't be something, what were you guys envisioning? Like something just kind of present them a certificate, thank you for their services. Yes, yeah. I mean, it just is something that makes people happy, and it's an informal recognition. And it's one step closer to maybe getting something more formal in place with HR, but this would be kind of recognition from that. So is there any objections to having that go through? Andrea did reach out to Print Services, and she did receive a quote for a print of 60 certificates with names on them. It was $89.50. So I would like to make a motion to use funds to pay for the certificates. Seconded. Okay. I guess, with the treasurer side? Should we do it for the year? Should we have a certain amount? Or should we do it per semester?
If we could get a report at the beginning of every semester, per semester would be
Per
fine.
semester, okay, so yeah, so we'll do
That
that.
way it would give us an idea of how many certificates I'm gonna need to get a quote for, and then we,
Right.
each semester.
Okay, any discussion on the use of the funds for the certificates printing? All in favor? Okay, any opposed? Okay, so it's been passed to use the funds for that, and then once we get the exact, I mean, as of right now, it's $89, but we may have less, so. And then Andrea did come up with a design. I did print it off. And she was gonna, if we like it, she came up with something just kind of simple with a certificate, appreciation, the name, and then kind of the use of the seal.
I'd have to get permission to put that.
Right.
And if not, then, I could put the staff in the logo in the background.
Right. I was thinking though, since it's coming from just a certificate, I would suggest leaving off signatures, I think.
Okay.
Do you think? Because especially because as of right now, HR is not quite formally
Yeah.
involved. And I don't want it to think it's just coming from staff Senate, because it's coming from the staff as a whole.
Mhm.
So I was looking at some other certificates somewhere, someone had them posted, and they don't have signatures on
No, they
it.
don't always. That was just
Yeah.
one that.
Oh, no, I appreciate it. Yeah, I think that would be good. And then if we did have something more formal, that it was
Absolutely, you
actually,
can change it later.
yeah. So if you want to reach out and see if we can use that seal, because I do like that. We maybe want to put some more.
That was a more like contemporary design.
Mhm.
I have another one that I worked up that's more traditional with like the frame around. it.
Okay, yeah. I like those.
Right.
Because we're not going to be able to give a frame.
Right, yeah, so it's more traditional with the scallopy frame around.
I do like the seal though, unless you all, I mean, just because it's more university wide, not just staff Senate, so. And I mean, there's a lot of people that will take the certificate and hang it in their office, because I mean, after 20 years of service, or even 40 years, that's a long time. So we will work on that part and get that situated, and get all the information sent
Do you
out.
plan to use the slideshow or like the, I guess, projector or anything in there to where even if somebody wasn't there during that time, that maybe there's a slide for a 5-year to 10-year that would play on the thing?
Yeah, we
Any
can have it
other
like on a
messages or
loop
whatever,
even.
but yeah, like whatever else you wanna have messages, but you might think about just having a slide for whatever those increments were, with names that would play
yeah,
as part of
because
whatever
they'll
else
be
you
on
wanna play, but just thinking for people who might not be there at the time.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea, thank you. So
I was gonna say, what if we added, we could also add something, a video or something from one of their one of their supervisors, who could embed that into the slideshow too, if possible, if some reason someone couldn't attend and be there on their behalf. If we wanted to give them any recognition that way.
Yeah, I don't know if we would have time to do all
Gotcha.
of that. I think just at least putting their names on that and seeing that, because I think even if we present the certificate to the person, it's gonna be kind of quick, because we kind of do staff leadership, just kind of present and then that would be a good idea, and it may be something to think about, especially like we could also put these names in our newsletter as well. Once we present and that, yeah. So, and I mean, I think that would be kind of nice though too, because we can also print some or do our highlights on that slideshow as well. Then people who are coming in and out, since it's kind of open house and meet and greet, they could see the names as well. Yeah, thanks, Jeff. That's a good idea.
How many people does the room hold? I can check the limit, but like. What do you think?
I didn't hear.
How many people?
How many people fit in that room?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure. They definitely have a limit. I can check on it, like the upper limit.
Is it
and I
like
can check on
100 or 500 or 50, or you don't know?
Maybe
Maybe.
I'd say 75.
Maybe.
I'd say 100, maybe. Oh, maybe.
So enough.
Yeah.
That's
Definitely lying.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking people are gonna come, people are gonna come see us.
Yeah.
Also on the, for the meet and greet, Andrea applied for an exemption from Aramark in order us to purchase our own food. Thank you. It went through, so we are approved to purchase our own things. So I am requesting, the quote she got was right at about $100. I'm wanting to increase the food a little bit, so I'm requesting the use of up to $250 for food, supplies, and drinks for the staff meet and greet. Second, okay, so the motion for the 250, any discussion on this? Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, it's been approved, so we will have up to $250, which would be for, she had got a quote at Sam's Club for cookies, maybe some little brownie bites, and then some, tablecloths. Yeah, so just a few things, and then anything that we don't use, we can keep it hopefully for the spring one as well, and kind of just get an idea, but I'd rather have too much food or too much supplies in that, and I'm really thankful that there's an exemption, because that's gonna, the food will go a lot further, yeah, for sure. We do have to set it up and everything, but we'll work together and get that taken care of. So, thank you, Andrew, for all this hard work behind the scenes. You didn't think the treasurer did a lot of work, did you? Yeah.
Not at first,
Just-
no.
Yeah, I give it, you say you volunteer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it to you. You know what you're doing, so, yeah, okay. Is there any other questions about the meet and greet? As of right now, we'll send out some more additional information, and on our September 3rd meeting, we'll talk about that as well. So we'll have more time to talk about it. I did have a request. I had talked to Jordan, the parliamentarian Jordan Ray earlier, last month about the bylaws. I think he mentioned that he kind of went over them, kind of looked. There is to make any changes, there is a formal process you have to go to. So I would like, if you guys have time between now and our October meeting, maybe kind of take a look. I know Deanna, you said you kind of looked at some things. If you see any changes, or if you have any suggestions, edits, if there's little things, can you please send that information to Jordan? And then Jordan can work on a document. It does have to have 5 signatures to make any changes. So this would just be, I mean, I think most of the bylaws are pretty much set. If you see something that needs discussion though, we can definitely discuss at the September meeting, send us an email. But if you have any little small edits or any changes, please send those to Jordan, maybe by the middle of September. And he can kind of take a look at it. We don't have to, I mean, even if October, wait till November if something formal. Yeah, because I don't think there's really anything huge we're proposing changes. I haven't noticed anything. It'll just more small edits, but you do have to have 5 signatures to get these bylaws changed. So I would like to get the ones that are small of that. So if you can get that to him before the middle of September, sooner than later. And then hopefully by the October meeting, we'll have a proposal to change or make edits to the bylaws and the Constitution as well. Does anyone have any suggestions that we could reach out for a speaker for our October meeting? If you do, send me an email. I don't care at all to reach out and talk.
Is HR gonna come to our October meeting?
HR, unfortunately, they are not able to come to our meeting. They will be having some open houses, or they will have some informational sessions that they will be having that staff members can attend, but they weren't available for our, yeah, so.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So what are you looking for in terms of speakers that come here? What is that center usually around?
Yeah, I mean, I like speakers. It kind of breaks up the meeting. It kind of opens up more to the staff about that. Last year we had, you know, obviously Dr. Caboni, we've had someone from financial literacy office. We had the auditor come and speak. We're open to anyone. You know, if someone wants to talk to the staff members about what they do on campus, I just like to learn more about different things. So, and I think it just breaks up our meetings as well. And like even talking to the internal auditor, he was here and it's like, you don't realize, I mean, I didn't really, I always think auditor and money, but there's a lot more stuff behind the scenes and stuff. So yeah, I mean, anyone's welcome to come and speak to the staff senate as well, for sure. So just to get some ideas out there.
I do have someone that would be a great guest speaker. Now, I just put them on the spot. But I think Kent would be great to talk about the military services that are provided here for the students. You know, where he can do some type of presentation, but, you know, that's all on him.
I appreciate it. I would be willing to. I think it'd be helpful for
folks that are tuning in to hear, if we don't have someone else.
Right, yeah,
for us
for
to share.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Oh, yeah, I think that would be important. I'm all about student services. So.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think, and I mean, as staff members, you know, the students are the reason why we're here. I know there's a lot of, some of us do behind the scenes stuff, but, students are why we have a university, so it's kind of important. It kind of like with the accreditation, it was a lot of information, but you don't realize if we're not accredited and we can't get Title IV aid, I mean, we don't have a university. And there's a lot of schools that are not accredited and they close because of that, so it's important. So yeah, I'll get with you. Okay, I think that's all. Any
Maybe
other?
you'll see the, got a chat. Said Kent would be awesome and for another month, maybe Dr. Martha Sales.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Maybe kind of tag team that too, with just with student services.
As a staff, you know, they're dealing with students that have questions, and if they don't know who to send them to, I think this will help it, you know, help the staff be able to do that.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Yeah, thank you. Maybe we could have a student support kind of a focus, like a little 30-minute, because I mean, even if you spent 15 minutes and Martha spent 20 or something, yeah, just kind of talking about the student services that we offer and what her role in at the university is as well. But like you said, sometimes you don't know where to turn to. So that's right. Yeah, cool. I think that's great. Thank you guys. Any more old business? Okay. Anything for new business? Time for public comment. Any public comment? No guests today, so I think we're okay. The only announcements that we do have on the agenda is our next meeting will be on a Tuesday, so put it in your calendars, September 3rd. Our guest speaker will be President Caboni. August 13th is the faculty and staff convocation at 9:30, so if you guys want to attend. Oh, it's 12, sorry. Monday. Yeah, thank you. Okay, 12, yes. Just a day ahead. News that, yeah. And then like, Regent Hammond said, your next quarterly meeting is on the 9th. You have the retreat this week, and then the 9th is the Board of Regents meeting that will be live streamed. Yeah, so I think those are the only events. Anything else? Oh, yes, September 3rd at 9:30, we will be meeting at DSU. Clinton will take our picture on the stairs right there. So if you can wear your red shirt, that would be great.
If you haven't gotten your shirt, it's on your way to you in campus mail.
So look for it
Don't
in
worry,
campus
I got you.
So definitely, and I'll send that reminder out again, because I'm sure, I mean, it'll be on the agendas, but I'll definitely, probably that Monday, send you all a reminder, just, I forgot almost that we were meeting in Regents Room too, so. Okay, I think anything else? Okay, and a motion to,
I'm sorry.
no, I appreciate it.
Okay, so for new business, I do have something from some staff members that are interested in wanting to get more meal swipes at Fresh. So that is one thing that they're wanting to fight for is to, I think in the past, there might have been where you could swipe weekly.
For one semester, I believe that we did it once a week.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice.
And they're like, what happened to that? Why are we not doing that?
Because it's like $10. It'd be interesting to see how many actually get used. I know
Yes.
none of mine, I use mine, well, usually, especially with our meeting, I use mine every month. I say, that's a $10 benefit,
Yeah.
even if I'm just getting a salad or something, but,
I mean, maybe there'd be an option where some people can opt out of it, so that way they would, I don't know, I've never.
but
used
they're
it.
probably only charged by the swipe. Yeah, my employees, none of them have used it. So, I mean, it'd be interesting to find the data on that. It's like, how many are actually being used?
I can look, I can ask. I mean, I
Research,
can-
okay, yeah. Do you know, I mean, who is that from, I wonder? Because
It would be somebody in the restaurant group,
think
but I don't know who.
well, I know, but I
Robert
mean,
Hutman, maybe?
Maybe.
Might be the contact person. I see
yeah,
him
you
all
want
the
to
time.
reach that and
I'll
see.
definitely know who did that examination.
I'll investigate.
But I wonder, as that benefit was given to us, or where's that money coming from and where is it being generated, and how much more if we did say do twice a month to start with.
If we could find the data for that one cement, I mean, it's been a while, obviously, but if they still have that information of how much was used when it was more often.
But even
It's been
that-
several years. I
Right,
think
it's
it was
probably
just
like
a-
10 years ago, so they may not have that information. But if we could compare, and that might give us a basis of, it would cost the university this much.
Did you say Robert Huffman? I heard commented that name too.
Okay. You might also copy to this, because she might have to.
Okay.
I think that's great. I mean, I just, if we could provide a little bit extra.
Oh, my.
Okay.
Okay, well, if nothing else, then I will call the meetings end and you're good to go. Are we done, Street?